Shedeur Sanders receives impressive grade for preseason debut. There was plenty of backlash when the Cleveland Browns decided to start Shedeur Sanders in the team's first preseason game on Friday, but he was up to the challenge and threw for 138 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the 30-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. There was a lot to love about the win, but Sanders was the star of the show, so much so that one analyst gave him a notable grade after his debut. Jacob Kamenker of USA Today handed out grades after the game, and he gave Sanders a solid B+ for his debut. Sanders did not disappoint in extensive action during his Browns preseason debut. He kept Cleveland's offense moving throughout the game and showcased the skills many believed would make him an early-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Throughout Friday's contest, Sanders read the field well and demonstrated sharp accuracy. Sanders' debut went about as well as anyone could have reasonably expected. His ability to entirely avoid turnovers will certainly encourage Kevin Stefanski, and it could afford Sanders an opportunity to challenge for a role higher up on Cleveland's unsettled quarterback depth chart, Kamenker wrote. Without tempering too much of the excitement, of course, this performance was against one of the league's worst defenses, but it was an outstanding first step for Sanders. The rookie is still fourth on the depth chart, but Cleveland's four-man quarterback competition is still up in the air, and he could earn his way up the depth chart a bit if he continues playing like this. It's widely assumed that either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett will open the season as the starter, but if things don't go well, either Sanders or Dillon Gabriel could be inserted into the lineup at some point. Cleveland has to find out if either Sanders, Gabriel, or Pickett is the long-term solution this season, and through one game, Sanders certainly looks like he is in the mix. The lights inside FirstEnergy Stadium weren't just bright, they were demanding. They have a way of exposing rookies, stripping away the hype, and showing exactly what a player is made of. But on his first NFL preseason stage, Shedeur Sanders didn't just survive the spotlight, he thrived in it. From the moment he jogged out of the tunnel in that crisp Cleveland Browns uniform, Sanders looked as if he belonged. The crowd didn't just see a rookie quarterback, they saw composure in motion. The kind of calm that NFL veterans spend years cultivating. A debut filled with poise. The first series started with the sort of situation that often rattles young quarterbacks, a blitzing linebacker and collapsing protection. Sanders didn't panic. Instead, he slid to his right, kept his eyes downfield, and delivered a clean 14-yard strike to his slot receiver. It wasn't a highlight reel throw, but it was the kind of read-and-react play that earns the respect of coaches grading film the next day. He followed that with a well-timed seam route completion and a perfectly placed back shoulder throw on third down, keeping the chains moving. 3 completions, 3 different looks from the defense, all handled with veteran-like patience. Former NFL quarterback and current analyst Dan Orlovsky was quick to notice. The kid's eyes never drop. That's rare for a rookie in his first snaps, he said during the broadcast. Command of the huddle. For a quarterback, physical tools matter, but commanding the huddle might be even more important. Sanders already seemed to own it. Between plays, he wasn't just listening to the headset. He was talking to his linemen, pointing out protections, even motioning for his receivers to adjust splits. Teammates later confirmed that his voice in the huddle was steady, confident. He didn't sound like a rookie. He sounded like a guy who's been here for years, said veteran guard Joel Bitonio. That leadership translated onto the field. On his second drive, he orchestrated a 10-play, 78-yard march capped by a 12-yard touchdown pass, a low, fast ball threaded between 2 defenders. The numbers that back it up. By the time he stepped off the field for the night, Sanders had posted a stat line that impressed even the most cautious evaluators. 12 completions on 17 attempts, 158 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 115.7 passer rating. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. Every snap showed a quarterback who processed quickly, anticipated pressure, and adjusted when things went off script. For a debut, that's gold. Pro Football Focus gave Sanders an 83.6 overall grade for his performance, an impressive mark that put him among the highest-rated rookie quarterbacks in Week 1 of the preseason. For context, anything above 80 is generally considered a strong performance even for veterans. Why the grade matters. Preseason grades don't determine careers, but they can serve as early indicators. In Sanders' case, the grade wasn't just about accurate throws. It reflected decision-making, pocket awareness, and the ability to avoid costly mistakes. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski addressed the performance in his post-game comments. He was in control. That's what you want to see from a young quarterback: control of the game, control of himself. The moment wasn't too big for him. Composure under heat. One of the key factors behind Sanders' high grade was how he handled defensive pressure. He was blitzed on nearly 40% of his dropbacks, yet his completion percentage barely dipped. On one second-quarter play, a free rusher came off the edge untouched. Instead of folding, Sanders stepped into the hit and delivered a 19-yard strike to his tight end over the middle. That kind of toughness doesn't just win over fans, it wins over locker rooms. Teammates take notice. In the days after the game, several Browns veterans went out of their way to praise Sanders publicly. Myles Garrett, never one to hand out casual compliments, told reporters, "I like the way he carries himself. It's steady. He's not just trying to show off his arm, he's making smart plays. That's how you earn respect fast." Wide receiver Amari Cooper echoed that sentiment. "He puts the ball where it needs to be. That's all you can ask for as a receiver." What the film shows. When breaking down the film, analysts highlighted 3 things that separated Sanders from the typical rookie debut. Pocket patience. He didn't bail early, even when the rush closed in. Anticipation throws. Several completions came before the receiver's break, a sign of NFL-level timing. Ball placement. Receivers rarely had to adjust drastically. Sanders hit them in stride, maximizing yards after catch. Even his lone near miss came on a deep shot that just grazed off his receiver's fingertips. A play the coaching staff chalked up to timing that will improve with reps. Fans start dreaming. The Browns have had their share of quarterback experiments, many ending before they began. But Sanders' debut has already sparked conversations about whether the future might finally be here. Social media lit up with clips, comparisons, and cautious optimism. One fan wrote, "I know it's just preseason, but this feels different. Dude looks like a QB1 in the making." Another posted a highlight clip with the caption, "We might have found our guy." Keeping it in perspective, Sanders himself was the first to downplay the performance. At the podium after the game, he deflected credit toward the team. "It's a group effort. The line gave me time, the receivers ran crisp routes, and the coaches put me in good situations. I've got a lot to improve on."